Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. So, do you remember when Donald Trump said that he is just going to forget about the Houthis and Yemen? Because, it's too much bloodshed, and he got to a truce with them, and people said because he's upset with Netanyahu and he dropped Israel and so on. That was the narrative fed to us. Like, we're the strongest and we're gonna move on. Like many times in my life, and many times you can verify, when these guys, the media operatives, write articles for us, they are over there to create a narrative, to shape an opinion. They want us to think in a certain way, to regiment us. And they're doing that by usually ignoring events. By picking and choosing, by selecting evidence. Therefore, you will have an opinion based on their evidence, but the evidence that will run against that particular opinion or narrative are hidden. This is the exact situation, in this case, with Yemen, the United States of America, and the United States of America's military power in general. Now, I made a few videos lately claiming that is good, and I think it's good to test yourself in real combat in order to see how good you are. You can't just practice in a dojo and have some sparring, some push-ups, some punching the bag, some shadow fight and so on. Yeah, that's good. It tells you a certain level. But when you fight a real fight, that's the real test. So the same with the United States of America. If you look at the United States of America, we are told the United States of America is the strongest nation militarily in the world. And that might be true. And maybe it is true. My problem is with, they say it's the greatest, but it's not as big. Actually, with this article that I have here, it shows us that this is the US military power. Not this one. This one. And the videos that I made lately was that the United States of America showed its limitations, military limitations and economic limitations. By means of what? By means of challenging Russia in Ukraine militarily, and by challenging the world on tariffs economically, and then dropping the world and focusing on China, and could not even beat China. And it's very good. It shows, you restructure, you reevaluate. Remember, the big ego and the reality. This is where your potential is, how much you can. But you think over here, you make mistakes, sometimes fatal mistakes. So what happened? I'm going to show an article that is not related or doesn't have the intention of telling us the United States of America's military actually is not as strong, but is actually this strong. And here is a statement coming from a warship captain, U.S. warship captain here. This is from Jake Epstein. No. Okay, June 7th. A U.S. Navy warship captain said the Red Sea conflict was, and I'm quoting, a knife fight in a phone booth. China would be way more challenging. So what the hell? I looked for what is a knife fight in a phone booth, the expression. I want to make sure I got it right. So I looked over the expression right here. This is the Urban Dictionary, and it says a chaotic scene or movement. As you can imagine, if two people had a knife fight in a phone booth, it would be rather chaotic. And both sides will have victims, will have casualties. How many casualties have you heard provided to you by the US media, by the media operators regarding the United States of America? I tell you exactly what you know about the conflict with Yemen in the Red Sea. United States lost 3 fighter jets, all 3 accidental. Okay, one on the landing, the other one, it's a friendly fire, we shot it down, and the other one just slipped away from the deck when the aircraft carrier was making a maneuver to avoid a Houthi missile. These were the things that were made for us. 3 airplanes, all accidental. It was not those guys. But this guy here says it was a knife fight in a phone booth. That means you're very strong, very short in a very small confined area, and you. It's not like, I'm smacking you. No, I get smacked. Have you heard United States of America having one casualty, one, in this chaotic knife fight? I haven't heard. Do you think there were none? I don't think so. I think the media operator kept it away from you and I. I think the United States of America was hit and left the Red Sea, not because humanitarian reasons, like right now Trump wants to make peace between the Ukrainians and the Russians, because stop the bloodshed, too many human lives lost. I don't buy that. Zero. That's how much I buy that narrative. I think they got to a point where they say, we can't beat these guys, which is the Russians. And it's not the only United States of America, because I have to tell you, I want you to not trust me. I want you to go and verify everything I say. Why? Because that's the way I build trust. Verify. I would like you to tell me, how many wars did the United States of America fight, let's say in the past 30 years? I mean, you have to admit that we are stronger as time goes, like wine. We get better, right? So in the past, let's say 33 years, since the fall of the Soviet Union, and the United States of America remained the main kid on the block, the bully boy. Nobody would do anything. No adversaries. It was the best. Did whatever it wanted. It wanted with everybody else. Tell me, how many wars or conflicts did the United States fight alone? And ask yourselves, why? Now, I can tell you the big ones. In 1999, the Americans, with a coalition of about 12 more countries, NATO countries, bombarded Yugoslavia, the small country of Yugoslavia, with a backward army. But that backward army shot down a stealth bomber, the newest stealth bomber, with the 1960s air defense systems, like this. Let's go! Done. And then the Chinese went and inspected it, bought it, and took it to Beijing to look into it. So that was in 1999. We, with the coalition of we did a Desert Storm. Now Yugoslavia, I think it had that time, together with Montenegro, that's why it was called Yugoslavia, I don't know, I'm gonna give them 12, 13 million people. You need a coalition to bombard a country. Let's say I give them 15 million. Let's give them 15. Why? It's not enough. And you have a coalition of what? Germany, France, Great Britain, Italy, United States of America. All this, if you take them, all the population together, you get more than 500, I would say 500,000, 500 million people. Don't you think? Let's give it 400 million people. 400 million people versus what? 12 million. And in 74 days, I think, they nailed Yugoslavia. After bombarded governmental buildings, like Putin should, let's say, bomb Zelensky's president's office building or the parliament. That's what the good people did. Okay, let's move on. So it was a coalition. Then Iraq was a coalition. Iraq had about 22 million people, so a little bit stronger. Then you got Afghanistan. Everything a coalition. Do you know the population of Afghanistan? I tell you. 3 goats, 5 chicken, 2 horses, 1 ass or donkey, and a few, I don't know, whatever, pigs. I don't have pigs because they are Muslim, right? So nevertheless, this is the population. All right, and then we go to Libya. I tell you the population of Libya. 4 million people. Again, a coalition of NATO countries. And then they went to Syria. And then now they went to Ukraine. With Ukraine against 145 million people, which is Russia. And these guys cannot do it. Now, United States of America went on the Houthis on Yemen to protect you know who. And they got knife fight in a phone booth. And this guy even dares to mention China? Like China would be more challenging? You have zero chance. Zero. By this articles, zero. And you talk about Iran? Iran has about what, 82 million people. But hey, let's see Yemen. Have you heard of Yemen? Do you know where Yemen is? Do you know what Yemen is? Do you know the GDP of Yemen? I will show you all that, and you will be very much not impressed. So I'm going to show you. Here is Wikipedia. And hey, what do you know, if anything, about the Yemen war? Do you know anything? And I think if you're not really interested specifically in that one, I think you can tell me that in about 2 sentences. I don't want to insult you. And I have to confess, I didn't know almost anything until I started reading about what? 2 years ago, 1 year ago, when I heard the Yemen war is over. So what? Okay, I knew it was a war, but did you know United States of America was involved in that? Did you know that? So we, together with a big alliance, fought the Houthis, and we didn't win. So let's go to see Yemen. I thought, what's the population of Yemen? So Yemen is right here, a country located right here in the, it's considered Middle East, by the way. You see right here, this is the Arabian Peninsula, this is Africa, this is the Red Sea. I think if I click on it, it's gonna see us a little bit bigger right there. So this is Yemen. Now the Houthis have this part over here. So this was a civil war supposedly here. Now the Americans came here and tried to tell them who's boss. So let's look at Yemen. Let's look at the population. All right. And we go to the population. In 2025, estimate 41 million people. 41. So everything that goes over 22, like Iraq, we can't fight. We can't beat. We can't beat. Now you can say Syria. Okay, what's the population of Syria? Is it 40 million? No. So that's the population. Out of those 41 million estimate, that's not all Houthis. The Houthis do not have the whole country. So nevertheless, okay, and I looked at this on GDP, gross domestic product. And here is Yemen. Has $2,053 per person per year. So if you divide goods and services to the 41 million people, each would have $2,000. This is the 180th country out of 194 countries. So that's only right here. It's only now hits what? GDP nominal. It's 184 from 180, but from 193, sometimes 94 countries. So it got what? 14 countries worse than them on this planet. Do you understand that? And they are 41 million people. So what else do you know about Yemen? So definitely Yemen is a very poor country. Very poor country. And not a big country. You can say, well, 40 million people, it's a lot. Yeah, but take the Houthis, because it was a civil war. And who fought that civil war? I'm going to show you. We also fought. Saudi Arabia fought, and many other Western countries. Did you know that? On whose side? Against the Houthis. And now we try to fight the Houthis, and the guy says it was like a knife fight in a phone booth. Who are these Yemenis, man? Who are these Houthis? Okay, let's see. List of armed groups in Yemeni civil war. Yemeni civil war, 2014 to present. So I'm going to show you what's important here. Don't look at these guys with Qatar, all right, we're going to go to the real guys right here. This is alleged support, and we have the Saudi-led coalition, United Arab Emirates, okay? So they were against these guys. All these countries here are against Saudi-led coalition against the Yemenis. Now you say here, allied groups, Academy, you know what that is? This is the former Blackwater. It's an American private military contractor, not a mercenary group, because it's an American. If they would be Russian, like Wagner, would be mercenary. Founded on December 26, 1997 by former Navy SEAL officer Eric Prince. All right, so this is one. And then you got supported by whom? Egypt, United Kingdom, France, United States, Canada, Germany. Logistical support. That means, satellite, military, blah, blah, blah. Right here, France, even Pakistan, Somalia. And then you have here, United States includes drone strikes, US Navy, special operations, and command. And one American was killed during this war. So these guys want to fight Iran? These guys want to fight Russia? They trying right now. So I know. I'm a very patriotic person, very nationalistic. Okay, so I understand that some Native Americans might be very offended hearing me saying this. I have an accent. I'm not even born here, but I did something to come here. The other guys just came from their mom's V's or their father's cocks, however they identify nowadays. So I understand some people might say, who's this guy talking about us? And get angry about me instead of focusing on what I'm saying. I understand, but hey, thank you very much for being here. Minute 14. It's not how I say it, it's not who says it, don't kill the messenger, it's the truth. Everything I said is true. Now, if you think that a knife fight in a phone booth is something like I knock you out, no, it's not that. So these guys fought with the Yemenis, the Americans, in the Red Sea, and they retreated. That's how I take it. That's how I take it. You want to take it that we won and left? You can't take it that way. Do you think it was a draw? Who came to whom? Did the Yemenis, the Houthis, came and said, I'm going to smack you, United States of America? Or was the Americans coming, we're going to smack you? Who were the, how should I put it, the guys who are gonna set an example? The Americans came over and said, we're going to destroy the Yemenis. Now you can say, well, Emil, that if we really want, we can, I'm sure if United States of America really, really wants, could, do that. But then what? Maybe it would get smacked a few times and the whole world will see that the emperor has no clothes. So just to draw the attention, I think this is evidence. Again, this article over there, with the only article that I featured here, this from Business Insider, this is not meant to tell us that we are weaker than we think we are, the strong we are. So we are weaker. No, it's just to tell us it's a chaotic, it was blah, 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 blah. But how was it chaotic? If we didn't hear anything, we had no casualties, zero. You tell me. Have you heard CNN, MSNBC, Fox News, the big media telling you, I know this aircraft was blown up? I haven't heard, but we retreated after we didn't complete the operation. Why? Because we said, it's always good to try yourself in the real world because you're going to find your limitations and you adjust, and you plan ahead according to your real potential instead of having an inflated ego and then I'm going to fuck up everybody. That's why they couldn't even. Trump begged for Xi Jinping to talk to him. He called Xi Jinping. He called him, and he's going to go to China to bend the knee, not the other one coming to Washington, D.C. He's going to come after that to inspect his property, but that's a different story. I know you don't like it. I don't like it either. But hey, that's a positive light on this because you find your limitations. Therefore, you're going to adjust. If you're smart, if you're an imbecile, you will continue with your big head and you're going to be kicked in the balls by Yemen. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.